to the Newport Board of Education special meeting. May I have a roll call, please? Here.
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 If you all would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we'll have a moment of reflection. All righty. First on our agenda is a request to approve proposed tax rate for 2027 school year. Mr. Atkins?
Yeah. So I've put together a presentation for tonight just to walk forward with the community through our recommendation. With that said, so tonight I'm presenting our recommended real property tax for the fiscal year 27, which is 79 cents per $100 of assessed value. Our goal tonight is to walk through you transparently through the exact numbers of state funding mechanics, economic realities facing our district, and precisely what this recommendation means for our local homeowners as well. So for the next slide here, to understand why we're recommending 79 cents, we first have to look at the broader economic environment or the picture. Between 2021 and 2025, consumer prices have grew by roughly 19%. To put that in clear terms, what costs $100 in 2021 costs $119. For our district, $1 million in purchasing power back in 2021 now requires $1.19 million just to buy the exact same goods, services, utilities, and also instructional supplies. So this means our fixed operating dollars buy noticeably less before we even discuss adding any new academic programs or staff positions. So next, there's often a belief that when local property assessments go up, school districts receive a financial windfall. We receive a lot more funding. However, Kentucky's SEEK funding formula works differently. So on the slide, you can see here in fiscal year 2027, our total real estate assessment stands at $1.74 billion. You divide it up amongst students, about $1.45 million per student of assessed value. Because our local assessment value rose, when it rises, the SEEK formula calculates a higher local effort of $5.173 million that Newport's expected to contribute. And as local wealth capacity increases, state equalization funding decreases. So essentially, when we have higher assessment values, that can result in less SEEK funding from the state. Next, the context is essential or really important when evaluating tax decisions. In 2021-22, Newport's real property tax rate was 101.7 cents per $100. Over the past 2 years, the board chose a compensating rate, dropping the rate down to 76.8 cents and then 77 cents last year. So even with a recommended rate of 79 cents per fiscal year 27, this stays at over 22 cents lower than where we were 5 years ago. So next, I want to clear up a misconception about you hear 4% option. It does not mean tax rates increase by 4%, nor does it mean an individual's tax bill increases by 4%. Under state law, the 4% option allows the school district to generate up to 4% more revenue than the compensating rate. So in this case, the rate going from 77 cents to 79 cents represented a 2-cent rate adjustment, which is actually an actual rate increase of about 2.6%. Next, when reviewing state notifications, you'll see two figures. You'll see the $494,000 amount, and then also you will see $441,000. And here's why. So first, the compensating rate for the fiscal year 27 would yield $11.169 million, which you'll see on the screen, which is $53,000 more than last year's. So second, choosing the recommended 79-cent rate generates $11.6 million, which is $441,000 above that compensating rate. So if you take the $53,000 that the compensating rate would generate more, plus the 4% option, that gives you that $493,000. So we've earmarked, if you look at the bottom there, and it's very hard to read, but when you've earmarked the funds, we've earmarked the funds specifically. It costs about $12,000 just to collect the taxes. $201,000 will be dedicated towards our building fund for facility improvements, and $280,000 will be directed straight into classroom instruction. So what does this mean for an actual homeowner? So for a $300,000 home, the tax bill moves from $2,310 to $2,370. When you break that down, that's about an extra $5 per month. All right. Also, if you look at it for a $100,000 property, that changes $20 a year, about $1.67 a month, and you could go through the rest of those amounts and see how it impacts that value of assessment. Next, I think this is important. When you compare our rates with neighboring school districts across northern Kentucky, especially the river cities, Newport continues to maintain the lowest property tax load. Even at our proposed $2,370 annually for a $300,000 home, Newport taxpayers pay less than residents in Bellevue, Dayton, Ludlow, Covington, Fort Thomas, and Southgate. Also would like to point out that Ludlow, Fort Thomas, and Southgate has a school utility tax, a 3% utility tax, which Newport does not. So it's important to look at the entire tax picture, not just one rate in isolation. So when you compare our group of 7 local districts, the river cities, Newport has the lowest real estate tax and the lowest tangible property rate. Our motor vehicle rate is at 99.3 cents, which is the second highest. And as I mentioned, we have 0 utility tax, 0 occupational tax, or excise tax. So taken as a whole, we have an overall conservative tax structure. So in summary here, to wrap this up, the 79-cent recommendation balances 5 crucial things. 1, rising costs across the district operations, persistent erosion of purchasing power due to inflation, the SEEK formula shift to where the local community pays more and you receive less than SEEK, responsible stewardship in the past years. We've adopted the compensating rate for 2 consecutive cycles or 2 consecutive years. And there would be a modest impact on homeowners equating to about $5 a month. So with that said, I recommend the board approve the proposal. It's a proposal for the fiscal year 27 tax rates at 79 cents per $100 in assessment for real property, 86.4 cents per 100 for personal property, and 99.3 cents for $100 for motor vehicles. If you have any questions, please let us know. Ken, is there anything you'd like to add to put me on the spot here?
Thank you. So at this time, any questions or concerns regarding the proposed tax rate?
All my questions have already been answered.
Mine have too, and we want to thank Mr. Atkins for all and his team for all the work you all did to make sure that the board was informed and understood the recommendation. And so now we are charged to approve notice
Correct.
of the proposal. So we're not approving the tax rate itself. We're simply just approving that the proposed tax rate be, the notices be sent according to the law.
Correct. Some districts, the superintendent, staff will put that out there. You all have always said, hey, because you've kind of given the public, you're already telling them, hey, we're not seeking to exceed 4%. So to kind of give them a heads up, so they don't, think something wrong, you all pretty much say, hey, we direct the superintendent and staff to go ahead and issue the notice. We're going to put the notice out there. We're agreeing we're not seeking to exceed 4%. So then at your hearing, when you do your final vote, you can decide anything between compensating and up to 4. As long as you never seek to exceed 4%, you're not even subject to recall.
And Brandon, has the law changed this year as far as a procedure, how we go?
Yeah,
through
it's just
this?
a notice requirement more. It's,
More involved.
yeah, it's a little more involved. They just want more notice out there. I mean, you've always had to have a hearing about if you're gonna go above the compensating rate, but it's just more robust now.
And I think the requirements to be on social media
Yeah.
and be
You,
out of.
you gotta run it in the paper for 2 weeks
Then,
and then on our website.
Yeah.
Nonstop. I know they've already got all that info of what's needed.
Okay. But
And
is
then
it-
you always allow public input and all that, so at your regular meeting when you do it, people are free to come and comment at that point.
correct. So at this time, I need a motion to approve sending the notice of the proposed tax rate.
Yep.
So moved.
It's been moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Next on our agenda is new business, Mr. Atkins.
Yes, so, as many of you are aware, this central office roof has had multiple leaks, really kind of on the exterior of the building. Not down here on the 3rd floor, thank goodness it's not making all the way
Right.
down here, but up on the 5th floor. So we had a contractor, an architect come and walk the building, and they strongly suggested that we could declare the roof project an emergency so that we could fix it before winter. Because if we don't declare an emergency, it's going to be a much slower process, and they're concerned about the water freezing and
Right.
expanding and all those kind of things. So the recommendation is to declare repairs on rebuilding of selected parapets and sealing of joints at all locations of parapets at the district office as an emergency. I did Google a little bit what a parapet was because I'm not in the construction business, so if you have a question about that, I'm ready to answer that as well.
I learned a few years ago what they are.
Explain, please.
Sure. So a parapet is a mini wall built around the edge of a roof, bridge, or balcony.
Okay,
So if the flat roof, because I asked him to give me in simple terms, I need to, if a flat roof were a big dinner table, the parapet is the raised lip along the sides of your plate on the side of the building, so that, one, you can't see the air conditioner or the roof looks rough or whatever it is. So what they're actually saying is some of those are bulging out. They're concerned that, eventually they could fall.
In zoning, you get it a lot when, like, some cities I represent used to require like slope roofs.
Yeah,
And now people want to do the flat, so you make them jazz up parapets, for almost like a castle or
Okay.
something. So that parapet is, you can make them aesthetically pleasing too.
yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do all kind of decorative stuff with those.
So is
No.
that what's causing the water to come in, is because of that?
That, and then also all the joints on the parapet, so I guess it's concrete around the top and all the joints need to be resealed. And so pretty much all the leaks that we have on the 5th floor, you'll notice are on the exterior.
okay. Now, by doing this as an emergency, this waives our obligation to bid for the job, or why?
I think you can speed up the process in terms of like not doing EG1s or you can start the work while you're also talking to Emmett, those guys, Emmett Hayes, that you can complete the work a lot faster while you're also completing some of your paperwork.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, our architects should know this process pretty well.
okay,
And Emmett is the one that informed us, like the language that we should use and bring it to the board, and they've guided us.
okay.
And we
Who-
do
vendors?
have the funds for this?
Emmett Hayes, we do have restricted funds. Kim could talk more about that, but we do have restricted funds that can pay for this.
Okay.
Part of the building funds, right?
Yes,
That come from our building fund, is that what?
Do you have vendors already willing that you think will do the work already?
He has someone that's gonna give us a bid, yeah.
It's tough right now.
And he basically said if they come back too high and they feel like that's not fair, he'll go and get more bids.
okay.
Yeah, it's tough right now.
Are we required to have more than one bid on this? Or
I don't think so, not if we declare an emergency. I think it'd be like if a $100,000 boiler went out, you had to have it for your heat or something, that you just gotta get fixed.
But you're certainly, your architect's gonna be mindful if somehow somebody thinks they're using the emergency to charge too much, he's gonna let you know that.
Any more questions regarding,
No.
okay.
You got it?
And then the fundraiser, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
other thing.
The only other two things that are on here are fundraising requests from Newport High School Track and Field. They're doing that craft show again, which was very successful. I think some of you guys came to
Yes.
that.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And they generated quite a bit of money from that, and then also the Newport High School band. I don't recall what the data fundraising request.
Yeah, they're selling hoodies and t-shirts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some.
Yeah. For that was held in the gym, correct?
Yeah.
It was very successful, and they had a lot of nice vendors there, and I was able to buy a lot of Christmas gifts, so it was very
Very
nice.
nice. Do they take credit cards?
Yes,
I think they did.
yeah, a
Nice.
lot of vendors had either the, like Apple Pay on their phones, or a little gadget, they had a little gadget attached squares, et cetera. So, I mean, and what I loved is there was a lot of, it was very diverse, and they weren't all professionals. Some of them were just people who made things at home, and I bought, a couple of boxes from a lady who had just decorated some wooden boxes, real pretty, with lace and everything, and she charged $5. So they made, yeah, so they made great little gifts for like friends, and I actually have mine on my jewelry stand, and I just keep little knickknacks in it. So I really enjoyed it.
I actually
Very
got some
good.
good kids' books for my granddaughters.
Yes,
They had 4 or 5 different books that I was.
yeah, they had books, jewelry. It was really nice. I really enjoyed
October
it. So-
17th.
And the attendance was, it was well attended, so it was well advertised. So I think that's why it did so well, because it was well attended. It was, I think the advertisement was very successful. So I think that's the key, is making sure that the public knows.
And then they make their money from renting, organizing and then selling the
It
booths.
might be I'm making up a number, it might be $40 to $50 a booth spot.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you get, the fundraiser for us is that they pay to set up, pay for a booth. Yeah.
Now, do we advertise for all of our fundraisers or just specific
We
ones?
really rely on like that person running that fundraiser.
But, yeah.
We don't put it on the school's website? Not the website, but the social media for the school?
Yeah, for sure they do. But I mean, it's
Okay.
led by the person that's doing the event.
But
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's not necessarily something Rusty generates, but yes, they do put out
Yeah, they do.
information.
All righty, any more questions?
Mm-mm.
If not, I need a motion to approve consent agenda items. My computer is at what, 1 through 3?
So moved.
1, 2, 2. Okay, 2. 2. Okay.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anything else? I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Record time.
Record meeting.
On a side note, first home football games is Friday.
Okay.
7 o'clock versus Ludlow, home football game.
Yeah.
Now, when is the homecoming?
October 23rd, it's late this year.
Okay.
His favorite Friday.
I think we are, I'd say.